Hi everyone and welcome to a countdown video here on Theme Park Worldwide. Now I'm lucky enough to have travelled to all 12 of the different Disney theme parks all around the world, and I really appreciate the fact that I've been to them all. I absolutely love Disney theme parks. It's the fantastic attractions, the unique atmosphere and the complete package what Disney always seem to get right that I very much enjoy about their parks. However, I've always wanted to film a video ranking the different Disney parks in the world, all 12 of their theme parks, not including the 2 water parks, just sticking to their theme parks. And I've wanted to do it for a long time, but this is something that I've really struggled when it comes to deciding exactly what order to rank these parks in. So that's why it's took me a while to put this one together, but you know what, I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. So in terms of this video, I'm going to be ranking the parks based on the attraction lineup, the themed areas, the overall quality of them theme parks, and then of course down to the operations, the dining options, and also the customer service at the parks as well. Bear in mind that Disney has a certain level that they call their standard of customer service, which is always brilliant, but there's some of these parks that even take it to the next level above that. So I'm going to talk all about that, lots to get into with this video, and here we go. We're going to go straight in. Of course, in 12th place, my least favourite of the 12 Disney parks, but still not a bad park. It's Walt Disney Studios Park, which is located at Disneyland Paris. Now this opened as the second gate park at Disneyland Paris in 2002, and yes, it's quite a small park, and that's why this goes right down to the bottom of my list. However, there is some work taking place there on new areas that I'll mention in just a moment. But let's talk about the park as it is at the moment, as 2021. It is quite a small park. Some of the areas just aren't very pretty and don't particularly strike out to be some of Disney's best work, some of the themed areas. As it was built as a studios park, the whole idea really was to show you a bit of a behind the scenes look at various different movies, and with that it also meant that they didn't have to theme up the back of buildings and that sort of thing, as they could just kind of pass it off as it's a studio tour, it's a behind the scenes look at the magic being made. However, when it comes to an immersive theme park, that isn't really the way to be going. Now, Walt Disney Studios does still have some fantastic attractions, such as the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. That had an upgrade a couple of years ago and is now brilliant. It's also got a Disney unique attraction, Crush's Coaster, which is brilliant. It's a spinning coaster indoors with some fantastic effects. And also as well, a ride that was designed for this park, but is also now being replicated and will be opening at Epcot this year in Florida at Walt Disney World. That's Ratatouille, which is a stunning trackless dark ride that's got some fantastic theming and a great use of technology and themed elements and props. But yes, you know, there's just something about this park that it just lacks that Disney quality. As I mentioned, there is work taking place. Avengers Campus is a new Marvel themed area that's come in. Along with that, they're putting in a lake, a Frozen themed area and a Star Wars area as well. They're also working on the Cars Route 66 road trip attraction at the moment too. So there is a lot of work going on. This will be a better park in a few years, but at the moment it is down there as my least favourite. Another thing that I'm not too keen on is the lack of food options in this park. It is really tough to find a very good meal at a good price here. Bear in mind, you've got Bistro Chez Remy, which is a beautiful restaurant at the end of Ratatouille. However, it's just very expensive. It's not somewhere you could eat multiple times during a visit, or even if you go a few times a year. It's certainly a very expensive restaurant. But yeah, Walt Disney Studios is down there in 12th place for me because of them options that are mentioned. So there we go. Let's move on to 11th place. And this is Hong Kong Disneyland Park, which opened in 2005. Now, it was great to get out there to Hong Kong Disneyland and see just how different it was to experience a park over in Asia compared to Paris and of course over in the USA. But with Hong Kong Disneyland, again, it is one of the smaller Disney parks out there. Don't get me wrong, it's not on the scale of Walt Disney Studios, it's tiny. It's bigger than that. However, you know, there's just something that lacked here for me in terms of the size of it, in terms of some of the attractions that it seemed to miss out on. However, it still had some fantastic things here too, and some unique themed areas at this park as well. Things that I really enjoyed was Grizzly Gulch, a fantastic roller coaster built into that area that's very unique. They don't have a Frontierland at Hong Kong Disneyland. It's one of my favourite themed areas at the Disney parks, and I did miss that here, but Grizzly Gulch made up for it and definitely missed Mystic Point, home to Mystic Manor, a trackless dark ride that is kind of there taken away on the Haunted Mansion, but it's very different as well. It's a brilliant trackless ride. It's got so much theming, projection mapping, lasers, brilliant illusions and special effects throughout that ride, which is brilliant. Along with that, they've got some good cloned rides from some of the other Disney parks, such as It's a Small World. Their version of Space Mountain's great. They've also got an Iron Man ride that I really enjoyed when we was there. That was very well themed and very nicely put together. Along with that as well, they've actually got one of the best versions of Adventureland at Hong Kong Disneyland, in my opinion. Their version of the Jungle Cruise was fantastic. Really enjoyed that, and it was very different. Along with that as well, there was a few things that seemed to lack on Main Street compared to some of the others. Main Street USA being the opening area to the park, but it did miss things like the trolley tracks, which run down the middle. They weren't put in when this park opened. Along with that, it did actually have a replica of the original castle from Disneyland in California. However, that's now been transformed, which looks beautiful, into a huge new castle. They extended onto it with new turrets and details, and it looks stunning. So I hope to get back for that at some point. But obviously when we were there, the castle was just a cloned version, so it wasn't really quite as special as having their own unique one. However, it was still a very nice park, but it just seemed to lack a few bits that I do really enjoy from some of the other parks. But like I say, Mystic Manor and that whole area was beautiful. And along with that as well, the entertainment was great. We saw the Paint the Night parade, the nighttime shows were good there. Along with that, there were some other fantastic stage shows. So yeah, it'd be nice to get back there and see that at some point in the future. Down into 10th place then now, and this opened in 1971. It's the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World in Florida. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, blimey, this is what Disney tend to call their signature park in a way. A lot of people visit there. It's the most visited theme park in the world. But for me, it's actually quite low down, and I'm going to explain all about that and why I put it in 10th place here. Bear in mind, all of these Disney parks have got fantastic attractions and great atmosphere, fantastic staff. They're all brilliant, but you've got to think, to put these in some sort of order, some have to be better than others, and for me Magic Kingdom is down there in the list. But let me explain all about that and why. So this is a big park, however there's not much attention to detail. It kind of feels like they looked at Disneyland when they built Magic Kingdom, took the parts away from it but didn't put the charm in. They put the rides in but they didn't bring that charm over. Some of the attractions here, such as Pirates of the Caribbean, It's a Small World, Big Thunder Mountain, they're just not as good as the other versions of the ride, and by a long way, especially Pirates of the Caribbean. It's still a fantastic ride compared to what other theme park companies offer, but compared to some of Disney's other attractions, it is one of the weaker, well, the weakest version in my opinion. It just lacks quite a bit. The hub area is way too big. Now, I know that it kind of has to be for the crowds there, but in terms of my enjoyment and being immersed in the magic, that kind of takes away from it in my opinion. The hub's huge, the whole park's huge, and I think that's where it loses that quaint Disney atmosphere that I really like, not just with the castle parks that Disney do, but with some of their other second gates and other parks. They just have that quaint feel in some of the areas. Magic Kingdom just doesn't have that, unfortunately. It has, however, got some fantastic attractions that I do enjoy. When they expanded New Fantasyland, that was great. The Little Mermaids are a fantastic attraction. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train's really well themed. They've also got a couple of classics there that I really enjoy. The Carousel of Progress, and also as well the Tomorrowland People Mover. That is another one of my favourites. So likewise, there's some great stuff there. Tron is also on the way, a fantastic ride that originally opened at Shanghai Disneyland in 2016. That's on the way to Magic Kingdom, so that will definitely improve it. But for me, it just lacks the quaint atmosphere. Don't get me wrong, it still feels very Disney. The castle is very impressive, especially with the new colour scheme. I've not seen it in person yet, but I hope to soon, maybe later this year if we can. But yeah, it just seems to lack that bit of Disney, what I enjoy, that quaint Disney, what you get at some of the other parks. And some of the signature rides are weaker versions than some of their other ones out there around the world, in my opinion. Into 9th place then now, and it's Disney's Hollywood Studios, which is also located at Walt Disney World in Florida. Now this park opened in 1989. Now this has got a fantastic variety of attractions. It went through a few years of it being a bit of a weaker park, but they've refurbished so much, brought new things in, and it's brilliant. Rise of the Resistance over in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and that area in general is brilliant. Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is another great attraction. Along with that, Toy Story Land with the Slinky Dog coaster, that's great. great. The original Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, which I very much enjoy, and the superior version in my opinion, bringing in the storyline, the theming and the intensity still on that ride. Along with that, great shows, Fantasmic, brilliant nighttime spectacular, Indiana Jones stunt show, and along with that, a new addition that I've not been on yet, but I do like the look of, that's Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That looks like a great addition. It did take over the Great Movie Ride, one of my favourites. However, I am looking forward to getting back and riding that at some point in the near future. Along with that, some of the themed areas here are great. I mean, I've already spoke about Galaxy's Edge, but Hollywood Boulevard is fantastic. Love the details on the buildings and the overall atmosphere down there. Sunset Boulevard is great, of course, with the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror down there in the distance, all the palm trees. Something about that park that is great. It's kind of what Walt Disney Studios in Paris should have been, because as much as they're both movie-based parks, with this, it's not kind of a behind-the-scenes look. They more put you into the movie instead and immerse you in these themed worlds, which is stunning. You've got Muppets there, Star Tours. There's a lot of attractions that are in that park, and great food options too. Some really nice food options at Disney's Hollywood Studios. But let's move on then into 8th place now, and this is Disney California Adventure, the second gate park that opened in 2001 at the Disneyland Resort in California. This is a fantastic park, and I never visited when it first opened, but I heard a lot of horror stories from it, and I've seen the videos. I know what it used to be like. But now it's actually a really good second gate park. It's such a solid park with so many great attractions. Buena Vista Street is fantastic. You've got the trolley that runs up and down there as well, which is great, the red car trolley. Grizzly Peak is a stunning area. Brilliant rapids ride. Soaring's there as well, the original version of Soaring. Then Cars Land, which is absolutely incredible. One of my all-time favourite themed areas in the world. Walking into Radiator Springs, seeing Tow Mater off to the side, and then of course the signature attraction, which is Radiator Springs Racers, which is brilliant. An absolutely amazing themed rockwork facade greets you, and then it's got dark ride sections and outdoor sections, and it's one of the best Disney attractions out there in my opinion. Along with that, Pixar Pier, I like what they did with the Incredicoaster and the vibe around that area, and it's fantastic. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the transformation of Tower of Terror into Guardians of the Galaxy. I did ride that last year. I wasn't overly impressed. I do prefer the original version of Tower of Terror because of it building up the atmosphere, but it was still good fun. I think with Guardians, it'll fit in much better once Avengers Campus opens, fingers crossed this year, their Marvel themed area. It's kind of spanning off to the side of that, so it'll fit in beautifully all together as one area when that does open. But along with that, you've got some fantastic shows and food options. Some of the food here is some of the best, if not the best at a Disney park, especially in the States anyway. But yeah, there's some brilliant food options. Shows, World of Colour, one of the best fountain Disney packages what they've ever done. Another great dark ride, Little Mermaid, they've got in there. Some of the flat rides around that area are good fun. Overall, Disney California Adventure is a solid 8th place for me. It's a great park that's got so much going for it, and I look forward to seeing where it goes in the future. Into 7th place then now, and it's the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, Epcot at Walt Disney World in Florida. It opened in 1982. It was actually the second theme park to be built at the Walt Disney World Resort and the third Disney theme park ever. Now, with Epcot, it is going through a big transformation at the moment. I've not been for over a year. However, I'm basing this on my last visit there. I've been a few times over the years since I first went in 2014, and I love Epcot. Spaceship Earth is incredible at the entrance. The big structure that you see. It's got a dark ride inside, which is amazing, telling you all about the history of what's happened in time and the evolution of the world, which is amazing. Then you've also got some other great rides, such as Mission Space. I really enjoy that, a simulator ride. Soaring's there as well in the Land Pavilion. And along with that, Test Track is a fantastic modern experience. But for me, Epcot is all about World Showcase. That's where the heart of that park is for me. Stepping through all these different countries, amazing food options. Honestly, the food there is fantastic. Lots of sit-down restaurants, takeouts. They have the festivals like the Flower and Garden, Food and Wine Festival. and I'm looking forward to seeing the new Harmonious show on the lake. That has replaced one of my all-time favourites, Illuminations, but I look forward to seeing Harmonious at some point. It's set to launch this year, so we'll see that. But that park is amazing. World Showcase is incredible. Got to have a shout out as well to Figment. I love that dark ride, of course, Journey into Imagination with Figment. That's a nice little dark ride. It's a great park. It is going through a big transition at the moment. Hope it doesn't take too much of its charm away, but it looks like the whole World Celebration area, what they're creating as part of the entrance, will be great once that's complete, and I look forward to seeing it. Into 6th place then now, and it's Shanghai Disneyland Park, which is located in China. This is the newest of the Disney parks, and it opened in 2016. When I visited, it was in 2017 on the 1-year anniversary, so that was cool to see and get the merchandise for as well. And talking of merchandise, that was fantastic out here. You really notice at the age of the Disney theme parks that the merchandise levels are even better than what you get at Paris and also at the American Disney parks. But Shanghai Disneyland is the most unique of all the Disney parks. It's completely different. It doesn't have a Main Street USA as the entrance. It's the only castle park to not have a Main Street. It's got Mickey Avenue instead. It's got the biggest ever Disney castle at the bottom, which is incredible to look at, and it's got some very different themed areas at this park as well, which is certainly very different if you're used to the usual Disney experience, but there's still a few classics in there as well. But there's no Big Thunder Mountain, there's no It's a Small World. It's a very different, very fresh offering, but that's why I rate it so highly. This park has got so much fantastic theming, and it's got some incredible rides. Tron, Light Cycle Power Run, like I say, that is coming to the Magic Kingdom soon, but this was incredible. The lighting package, the coaster, the modern feel was brilliant. Pirates of the Caribbean was incredible here, and the technology behind it was something that I've never seen, second to none. The Pirates of the Caribbean boat ride, the boats can actually turn round to the side, which is incredible. It was amazing. It's got a backwards section, like the whole thing's incredible, it really is. Along with that as well, I just enjoyed the overall feel of some of the areas there. Roaring Rapids was great in Adventureland. There's a high ropes course there built into it. Pirates of the Caribbean was certainly one of the highlights, but there was some of the smaller rides that were great. So you've got a boat ride that goes underneath into the castle. There's just so much there that's different, and I really enjoyed it. Food options were good as well. There was lots of different choice. I enjoyed the little ratatouille themed bakery that they had on Mickey Avenue. That was cool. And also as well, the overall vibe of the park was great and much better than what I was expecting. Some things that I'm not too keen on really with this park is the fact that the sight lines when I went weren't great. Bear in mind, it's nearly 4 years since I've been now. However, when we went a year in, a lot of the trees were still quite low. They hadn't really grown and flourished yet. You could see out of the park in some areas, and that did take away from it for me. But it's still a fantastic park. I love it, and the attractions there are great. Like I say, all Disney parks are great, and I've struggled to put this list together, but it is something that I wanted to do at some point for you all. But yeah, Shanghai Disneyland solid there in at 6th place. Into 5th place then now, and this is Tokyo Disneyland, which is located, of course, in Japan. This opened in 1983, and this was actually the first Disney theme park to be built outside of the United States of America. So with this, it's a very different park. It's not actually fully owned and operated by the Walt Disney Company. It's the Oriental Land Company that actually license the Disney attractions. They license Imagineers to come in and do the work, which is, you know, very different. But I tell you what, things are done on an amazing level here in terms of maintenance, the overall looking after of the park, the customer service. The merchandise here is insane. Honestly, it's a crazy the amount of merch. But let's go to the actual park itself. It's very similar to the Magic Kingdom in a way. However, the attractions here do feel more refined and of better quality. They've got a lot of classics here, such as Haunted Mansion, Splash Mountain, which are brilliant, but you've got some much better versions than Magic Kingdom in my opinion. Pooh's Honey Hunt was a big surprise for me. A trackless dark ride that is brilliant. Bear in mind there's Winnie the Pooh themed attractions at other Disney parks around the world, but this one was trackless, and it's brilliant how it's put together. Very much enjoyed the interaction on that, and the theming was great. Along with that as well, the Monsters Inc. ride, that was really good fun. And since I last visited, they've actually put in a Beauty and the Beast themed area that looks incredible. The trackless ride for this looks great. Can't wait to get back and experience this. One thing that I wasn't too keen on was the transitions between some of the areas and the placement of some of the attractions. For example, the Haunted Mansion is in Fantasyland, which I found a bit bizarre. Along with that as well, talking of bizarre, Main Street has got a big cover on it, and it's actually called World Bazaar, which is a bit bizarre, isn't it? It seems a bit strange. I'm not too sure on the cover. It's different. It's nice to have originality, but I do prefer a standard Main Street, I think, without the cover. But it was certainly nice to see it and experience it. And that's Tokyo Disneyland in their 5th place. Into 4th place then, and it's the Disneyland Park, located of course at Disneyland Paris, and this opened in 1992. This has probably got to be the most beautiful of the castle style parks because so much money was thrown at getting the details right. Because of course Europeans were all used to castles and very lavish buildings as it is in towns and cities. So Disney really needed to up the game and do something spectacular and incredible and very different for this park. And that's what they did. They probably spent a bit too much money on that really, and it caused a lot of financial issues. But the park is incredible, it really is. At the entrance, you've got the stunning Disneyland Hotel that you walk under, then into Town Square and Main Street. One of the most gorgeous castles I've ever seen down at the bottom, and so many details. Main Street is incredible, it really is. Along with that, you've got Discoveryland, which is a very different version of Tomorrowland with a Jules Verne themed Space Mountain. Unfortunately, it has got a Star Wars overlay on it at the moment, but I'm hoping it reverts back to the original at some point. Along with that, it's got by far the best version of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, a stunning attraction that I really enjoy out there in the middle of the river, which is incredible. Along with that, Phantom Manor, which is stunning, their version of the Haunted Mansion. That's a fantastic attraction. Fantasyland is so pretty. There's so many details, so many classics in there as well. And it's just stunning. The Storybook Land sort of area, I really enjoy there as well. So yeah, it's a solid place for me. Something that I do feel really lacks at Disneyland Paris is the food. Honestly, the food options are not great at all. The prices are terrible, way too expensive, a lot more than other Disney parks. And along with that, the offering and the time you wait for food, honestly, it feels like we're stepping back 20 years. Food offerings really need sorting out, in my opinion, at Disneyland Paris in the future. Right then, so we're down to the top 3 then now, the final 3. And in 3rd place, this park opened in 1998. It's Disney's Animal Kingdom, located at Walt Disney World in Florida. This place is absolutely breathtaking, it really is. It's a huge park, it's actually one of the biggest theme parks in the world, and that's mainly due to the animals that they keep here on Kilimanjaro safaris, an amazing ride that combines conservation and how important that is, all the Disney technology into creating this ride. You actually feel like you're out in Africa on a safari, it's so well put together. Along with that, Pandora, the world of Avatar, Flight of Passage, that is incredible, what an experience. It's a simulator ride that is put together beautifully. The boat ride they've got, Navi River Journey, the animatronic in there is incredible too, and just the area is fantastic. There's other amazing rides such as Dinosaur, a brilliant dark ride, Expedition Everest, a fantastic coaster, one of Disney's best coasters in my opinion, and along with that, Kali River Rapids is good fun too, a great water ride that I really enjoy. It's got great entertainment offerings as well, Finding Nemo the musical, Rivers of Light that I really enjoyed. Along with that, the Lion King show, which was brilliant. This park is incredible and it feels like you're out there in the jungle at points. The planting is incredible. There's so many big trees and carvings. You've got the Tree of Life, of course, which is incredible with It's Tough to Be a Bug underneath it. Honestly, this park is one of the best in my opinion. There's so much going on. The originality of it is fantastic with so many unique attractions. The conservation element of it's all really put out there, and it's a big park. It's very spacious, but the areas still feel quite quaint, and like the town of Harambe is put together beautifully. I love that. Having cast members actually playing the drums and stuff in the areas. I love how all that comes together, and it's a gorgeous park. In 2nd place then, and just missing out on the top spots, but only very closely. Some of these are really, really close. It's tough to decide, it really is. And like my top sort of 5 or 6, there's not much in them at all. This is, of course, Disneyland Park in Anaheim, California. The original Disney park, Walt's vision, Walt's dream coming to life, and it opened in 1955. The nostalgia of this place is amazing. You step into that park, and you just walk down Main Street and you feel Walt's presence there. And if you've been to Disneyland, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just got that vibe to it. The age of some of the buildings and the trees is incredible, but it's still well maintained and looked after because it's Disney. The castle, yes, of course it's a small castle, but it's the original, it's unique, and it felt more special than any of the others walking through there, and knowing that Walt walked through there is stunning, it really is. And then you think about the amount of attractions. There's so many rides packed into that. Bear in mind it's the smallest of the Magic Kingdom parks. There's so many rides in there, packed into the traditional areas, of course with some classics, but also some newer bits that they've brought in over the years as well, such as the absolutely incredible Indiana Jones, which is a stunning dark ride that I absolutely love. And heading down there through the temple and getting onto this dark ride is fantastic. But just the overall atmosphere is incredible. I love Matterhorn bobsleds. They're absolutely amazing. The Matterhorn stands proud in the park and it's stunning. Just sits nicely between Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. Classics like the monorail, the submarines, Space Mountain there is incredible. Honestly, that park is stunning and you just feel Walt's presence. I love some of the other attractions such as the Tiki Room. That's one of my favourites there, and it's just got a wonderful vibe about it. The age of the place, but how well maintained it is, really makes it one of the best out there in my opinion. And it's got a great mix of originals, but also some new attractions in there as well. Into the final place then, and first place, my favourite Disney park in the world in this ranking of the 12 out there. Like I said, there's not much in it at all between some of these, especially between my number 2 and 1 place. But it is the only one I've not mentioned yet. Of course, it's Tokyo DisneySea in Japan. This opened at the Tokyo Disney Resort in 2001, and wow, this place is breathtaking. You walk in to the Mediterranean harbour themed area and you see Mount Prometheus, this volcano that Disney built right in front of you, surrounded all these different ports that you walk into that are absolutely stunning. I absolutely love all of them, but some of my favourites that I enjoyed the most for here was Mysterious Island, American Waterfront, the Mermaid Lagoon, which is a mostly indoor area, and just the space what this park has got. Like, it's very well spread out, but the areas are very quaint. There's a lot of little pathways that you can kind of get lost in, especially in Lost River Delta and the Mediterranean area. There's just so many little pathways. You can get on a gondola and go round Venice. You can go into the American Waterfront and ride a very unique version of the Tower of Terror. Along with that, you've got original attractions such as 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and also Journey to the Centre of the Earth, which is an amazing ride built into this volcano, which is breathtaking. The special effects are a huge animatronic on that, and it really feels like you're tunneling down through into this mountain. Along with that, the food options, merchandise here is amazing, and the customer service is something I want to touch on with both of the parks in Japan. Of course, Tokyo Disneyland and DisneySea, the customer service is even better. That Disney service is brilliant and all cast members do a fantastic job, but in Japan they really go to the very, very next level. It's the best customer service I've ever had, not just in a theme park, but anywhere in my life. It is stunning, it really is. And that's just Japan's culture for you. They can't do enough for you, and I absolutely love that. And putting that combined together with Disney's attractions really makes it the best theme park in the world. Not just Disney Park, the best theme park in my opinion. But there we go. That was quite tough to actually put all that together, but I hope that you've enjoyed my insight to the 12 different Disney theme parks around the world, not including the 2 water parks at Walt Disney World, of course, but just the theme parks. I wanted to cover them in a lot of detail, and hopefully this has happened for you with this. Of course, there is vlogs from all of the Disney parks in the world here on the channel, so if you want to see big vlogs, most of them over an hour long, from all these parks going into a lot of detail, there's some attractions that I love that I've not even mentioned in this video because it's very overwhelming. There's so much to talk about, but check out them vlogs if you want to see everything. And of course, Tokyo DisneySea is one that I recommend to everyone, but all the Disney parks out there are still stunning. Even Walt Disney Studios, it might be the weakest in the list, but it's still got some great attractions that are very high quality that you wouldn't get at a lot of other theme parks too. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe you're like me and you've actually been to all 12 in the world. Comment down below. Have you been to none but you want to go? Or is it your dream to visit them all? I would love to know. And also, if you've been to them, rank them down below. And also bucket list attractions, bucket list parks, themed areas for Disney. I would love to know in the video comments. But in the meantime, thanks for joining me, Sean Sandbrook, here for a very different ranking video here on the channel. And I'll be back with new videos every single day for you to enjoy here on Theme Park Worldwide. Get out there and keep on riding. See you soon.